What's going on, Fred heads? How we all doing tonight? I want to know what are your views on A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010? I mean, overall, I do think it's a vastly hated movie by most of the horror community, including myself. That was one of the most disappointing movie experiences ever for me. I mean, during that remake boom in my late teenage years, I mean, I was beyond pumped for Nightmare on Elm Street in 2010, thinking, "Oh God, this is gonna be something. This is gonna be something good, and we're gonna be in for one hell of a ride." And I was surely let down. Today, I want to talk about what I would have done. Well, I'm not gonna say what I would have done. It's not like I was making the movie, but something that I really think is what destroys the movie and makes it what it is to a fan like me, who's a real diehard fan of A Nightmare on Elm Street, that original intent of Freddy Krueger, the way, especially the first three Elm Street movies and New Nightmare, not necessarily the more comedic side of Freddy. I prefer my Freddy scary and frightening and serious. And, one of the first things I want to say about the 2010 remake is it isn't because of Jackie Earle Haley. It's really got nothing to do with him. I do think with what he was given, he did a pretty good job. I mean, Robert is one in a million. There's never going to be another Robert Englund. But there is somebody out there who can do it. Dave McRae. who could don the glove and be the next Freddy Krueger. But Jackie Earle Haley did a damn good job, and I could see that as a 18, 19-year-old kid watching that movie in the theater. It was not because we didn't have Robert Englund, in my opinion. I mean, there's plenty of people out there that think, no, we can't have Elm Street without Robert. We can't do it. We can't do it. We can't do it. Yes, you can do it. But a lot of people tend to blame a lot of the other faults of that movie, and they like to just throw it on the actor. It isn't. I think, in my opinion, the biggest overall flaw to that movie is they tried way too hard to recreate iconic moments from the original movie. You know what I'm talking about? I know you do. The greatest kill in all of horror, Tina's death. Original 1984, A Nightmare on Elm Street. You're never, and I mean ever, going to be able to top that. So why even touch it? Leave that alone. And if you're remaking a movie, do something different. Try to, wow us in a different way. Don't try to recreate a golden moment in horror history, because it's not going to work. Freddy coming out of the wall, same kind of thing, just poor CGI effects. Absolutely pathetic. The body bag scene in the hallway, pathetic. The glove coming out of the bathtub scene. I still get goosebumps watching that as a grown man, because it still sends a shiver down my spine. You're never going to be able to recreate that magic. Why even touch it? Make new, interesting moments. They could have done that. They just didn't. I can't think of the director's name, but another thing, you didn't have a mastermind behind this. That's not to say that an average filmmaker couldn't have made a redeeming quality solid movie, but in 1984 you had Wes Craven. You had a absolute king of horror at the realm. You didn't have that in 2010, and it obviously shows, and obviously it stands out, but they focused way too much on what they couldn't focus on in 1984 for obvious reasons. That other side to Freddy that wasn't really deeply explained, and you know what I'm talking about. But if they just, I bet you that movie could have been a little more redeemable, and I could possibly maybe enjoy it a little bit, make it a watch every now and again if they just tried to create some of their own magic. And if the characters, most importantly, Nancy, was a little more likable. Nothing against the actress, it's not her fault. It was the way her character was written, the dialogue they were given, everything such like that. But Heather's Heather. She's number two final girl of all time. Heather is on a different level than anything else. Nancy Thompson is a very, very important character in the history of horror. And the way they fumbled the ball with her character really, really sinks the movie for me. Along with, yes, all the recreated, and the jump rope girls. It's like, no, you can't, you're never going to be able to capture the magic that Wes Craven gave us. That's why I think TCM remake was so interesting, because they really made it something new and different. They didn't just try to just capture every moment from that original film in 1974. They did something different. And I really, really think if A Nightmare on Elm Street did the same thing back then, we could have gotten something a little more redeemable, a little bit more worthy of looking back upon and really, really enjoying. But I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who do enjoy that movie from 2010. And if you do, that's totally cool. I really, really don't. I'm not a big fan. Never have been. Never will be. It just left me. My heart just was crushed after that movie because of how disappointed I was. But I've had 15 years to really marinate on it and think about it, and I've been thinking about what really could have made it better. And I really think that that's a bold, serious thing that could have made it a lot better, is just try to create your own new special moments. So if you have any ideas of what you think could have made that film better, let me know down in the comments below. And, if you got any ideas of other movies that you think were remakes, for instance, that, were pretty good, but, could have been better if they did this or did that, or other movies that just felt like it got ruined from certain things. And I know Elm Street, that Elm Street movie was really like that for me. It really, really sucks, but I really think it could have been something really, really special if they just made it their own and didn't try to just recreate every epic moment from that original movie. But you never ever know. So until next time, you all take it easy. We will see you soon. Peace out.